I feel it's beholden to me to also give a plug for the Department of Transport. We have Graham Hanson in the audience, or we did have.
He's just popped out.
There you go on, Graham, who actually was the sponsor for this project, and of course Andy Radford, who's already been referenced, who has made sure that it all comes together locally. Really great to hear about the fact that these things are worth doing, but they can be hard. So the lessons learned are the things that we can latch onto. Now, also close to my heart and also sponsored by Graham, I was the senior responsible owner for, or is it official, I don't know, for a project in the department about local transport data, the need to find it all, get it released more fluidly. And I'm very pleased to say that Paul Graham actually inherited my mantle. I bailed, went into the private sector, and Graham actually has had the hard yards of getting the project stood up, procured and underway. We've got a fantastic company now, NorthHighland, represented today by Becky Callear, who will tell us all about where this project has got to and what its future is. Thank you, Becky.
Hi everyone, thanks for your time today. So my name's Becky Gallia. I'm here from, I'm afraid, one of those consulting firms, NorthHighland. And I really wanted to talk to you a little bit about the project that we're doing today with the Department for Transport. For those of you that aren't familiar with the Government Digital Services process, a discovery project is really around understanding user needs, actually what exists out there in the landscape, actually are there services or products that are currently meeting those needs, or indeed is there a gap? Before kind of moving on to then starting to build out further services or products. And we're really at that very early stage of identifying potential problems, challenges, etc. for users in this space. In terms of what we're setting out to achieve, the brief that we were set by the Department for Transport was actually that we wanted to conduct a discovery project to identify the opportunities and challenges for key user groups to maximise the benefit of local authority transport data across England. And really the focus here is very much on that local authority data as being the primary area that we're looking at as part of this project. If I break that down a bit further, kind of fundamentally the question we're asking here is what data has the most value to whom and why? When we're thinking about data, we're looking at everything from streetworks to passenger flow, freight information, TROs. Value, actually, again, there's this view of whether it's cacheable or non-cacheable. Are these things that we can actually start to look at from an environmental or social benefit, or actually is there a commercial implication here where we can potentially look at monetizing this data with the private sector? Excuse the animation here. When we look at who this impacts, we're actually looking at both local authorities, central government, as well as the private sector. And then in terms of why, we're looking at everything from air quality, reduced congestion, improved efficiency of the workforce. The project itself is 12 weeks, and we've broken that down into a series of sprints. So we started off with a big piece of work to understand the existing landscape, all of the brilliant initiatives, projects, and sort of case studies that currently exist. We're then going through a series of user research sprints. So our first 4 weeks have been spent with local authorities, and actually it's great to see some familiar faces in the room of people we've already engaged with. We're then going to be moving on to speak with the private sector and actually understanding everyone from automotive manufacturers to engineering and construction companies. What's their view and perception of local authority data? What are they finding useful? What are indeed the gaps that they would potentially be interested in understanding more about? And then also then looking at some of the intelligent mobility transport providers and service providers in this space, so the Ubers, the City Mappers and the Googles of the world. And again, what are they looking to provide? What are the gaps? And how can they work more effectively with the public sector in this space? Before bringing all this together, and we'll be kind of presenting back our findings in a consolidated report, which hopefully we'll be able to share back with those people that have been involved in the study. In terms of what we're doing, we're really looking to understand that existing transport landscape across both the public and private sector, understanding those user needs. So what is it that people really want? What are the things they're struggling with? What are the things that are frustrating them? And then capturing those pain points and opportunities around transport data, again with a focus around, from a DFT and central government perspective, what are potentially the areas where they could be specifically helping? And sort of the map on the left starts to highlight the number of local authorities that we've already engaged with, as well as a number of parties. And thanks so much for everyone who's been involved to date. Some of the big questions that we're looking at tackling include sort of an understanding of the existing data landscape, so what data sets are out there already and what's being used. Of that data, what's shared, what's open, and what's indeed closed and therefore really restricted. And what are some of the current blockers around actually opening that data? Understanding, as I mentioned, the role of Department for Transport and central government in this space, and then understanding some of the key initiatives and success stories in this area. And it's great to hear some of those examples being shared today. I think one of the things we're really keen to do today is to get your help on this. So there's a couple of ways you can get involved. So speak to myself or the NorthHighland team, or indeed Graham. We're here today and would love you to come and chat to us, or indeed set up some time for a more detailed interview at a later stage. Contact me directly. You've also got cards on your tables with contact details, which we'd really encourage you to reach out to us, and we're happy to set up some time to either come meet you face-to-face or have a call. And the third thing is that we've got a survey going on at the moment just to get a sort of a better understanding of some of the existing initiatives and problems that are out there. Again, on the card on your table, which is the one that has kind of vehicles on the front, there's a link to the survey. I think based on stats so far, it takes about 6 minutes. It's super quick. So even if you've got a spare 5 minutes today, get your laptop out, and we'd really love to understand your views on this topic. And we'll be running one of the speed networking sessions as well later today. So again, hopefully a chance to engage with the team on this. That's everything from me. Thank you for your time, and hopefully speak to you later.